Welcome back to the worst podcast on the internet. Today I'm with
Lil Trauma.
elijah.exe.
And I'm Young Gibby.
so I'm with some friends of Atticus and Cole Joseph, who you may know from one of the previous episodes.
Shout out the boys.
Yes, sir.
On me.
How are y'all doing today?
Chilling.
Good.
Getting
Hanging
it.
out.
Getting while the getting is good, you feel me?
Sir.
All right, so do you want to introduce yourselves and kind of talk about how y'all met and what you do?
Let's get it. Yeah, for sure.
Whoever wants to start.
I'll get it first.
Let's
Let's start with these backgrounds. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. The middle child of 8 kids. Just grew up in a very musically inclined house. My brother and older brother played guitar and piano. I tried to kick up on the drums for a couple years, and after we moved a couple times, I just lost track of the sets. And so I started writing, and the music background, I guess, I started out with punk and metal. I really enjoyed listening to Green Day and Blink-182 along with Chelsea Grin. And I kind of hung on to there for a while. I never really saw myself diving into the rap scene. But after, I guess, 2016, whenever it was really just kind of getting pushed out there more, I came along a couple artists that I really enjoyed, and so I started diving into that as I was writing. And then my older brother, he, along with me, started writing too, and bought a bunch of equipment for us to start recording at, and I never stopped. I'm trying to think of where I should go from here, just musical backgrounds. I would say favorite artist as of right now would have to go to Suicide Boys, Tretta. I fuck with Lil Baby, Gunna, Dirt. I still listen to Blink and Green Day and A Day to Remember and all those way back inspirations for some nostalgia time to time. But man, really, with the music, I try to make it a representation of that, and so incorporating back in the day from punk era to the hip hop scene now, trying to blend that in with my own flair. I had an album that I'd put out. It wasn't the best mixed down, and so that was back in 2019. If anyone did listen to it, I'm sorry. But that was probably the hardest I went with it, and then I kind of just dove into more of the cloud trap rap kind of scene, and have stuck with that for a minute now. Take it away, my boy.
Alright. I'm elijah.exe. Like before, a lot of people ask, why the exe? Exe is an extension file, if you know anything for computer stuff, so it's just my music is an extension of myself. So that's why I chose the name. I met Saya at work, Lil Trauma over here. I met him at work. And it was one of my buddies that was hanging out. He was like, yo, this kid in the back does music too. You should check his shit out. I was like, hell no, bro. I don't care about none of that shit. So I ended up going back and talking to him, I think, and I think I showed you a song that I had just did.
Mm-hmm.
And you was like, yo, check this shit out. And I was like, all right, bro. I was vibing with it. And at the time, we weren't nothing anyway. Our mixes were terrible, all that stuff.
Man was still recording with the Xbox mic.
The Xbox mic making gold.
I don't mean to
bro.
even interrupt. I gotta put it where it stands. My brother actually found you first.
That's facts.
Levi found you first,
Yep.
and the day before I started at the work that me and him met at, Levi pulled me aside and was like, "Yo, I found this crazy artist on SoundCloud, Elijah. You were going by XOXO at the time."
Yeah.
And he showed me, I think, that same song that you showed me, and I was like, yo, this is crazy, bro. But
I ended up showing you, I ended up showing you that, and I was like, yo, this dude named Lucid, follows me too. I was just showing you, the followers.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, yo, that's my brother.
yeah, blood,
I was
brother.
like, where you go? That's my blood brother. And I was like, oh, word? That's crazy that he found me and that we work together now.
Yep.
And then you, sir, Mr. Young Gibby, you were, at the time, engineering out of your house.
I was.
and he was making gold. Like I said, I was using the Xbox mic, so my mix wasn't nothing. You feel what I'm saying? You can't keep pushing that stuff. So, Lil Trauma over here, he was working with Gibby, and he was like, "Yo, let's go over to his house. Like, let's try and make some music." I said, "Word." We went over, and I was always real like skeptical to have anybody mess with my mix. Like, I wanted my stuff to sound how I wanted it to sound.
We actually had to do a feature together before you even let me.
On me, yeah. He actually ended up sending a song for a feature. It just had some space on it. I threw something on there, and he ended up mixing it. And I was like, all right, this is clean. Like, it's quality for sure. Like, definitely better than mine. So we ended up going over there, started making music together, and we ended out here.
You took
All this
3
time,
months
later.
off,
I
and
did
started
take 3 months.
bullying you
He
to
started
get back to
bullying me to
the
get back on. I privated everything. Nobody could listen to the music, nothing like that. I just dropped it all off. And he bugged me for months.
Straight,
for
every
3 months
day.
straight, every day. He
Every
was
day.
like, yo,
It was,
trying to listen to that song.
There's a dummy in my backyard, I think
Front
is
yard.
what front
There's a
yard.
big-
Front yard.
yeah.
There's a front yard. Not
There's a
back.
big dummy in my front yard
That's what got him hooked.
on me. Take it away, bro.
Yo, my name is Young Gibby. I was actually born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee. I lived in California, Palmdale to be specific, for 2.5 years. And I moved out there when I was about 19. I spent about 6 months straight rigorously learning how to mix. So that's kind of where I got my start with being an engineer. And that's where I really got serious about my music, I feel like. It's also around the time I met Trauma over there through a mutual friend, Lil Stormy, which, you know, if it
Things
weren't for
happen.
him, things happen. If it weren't for him, probably wouldn't be here with these guys. So shout out to him for that. Much love. I started, middle school maybe. 8th grade, I think I recorded my first song. So crazy, man. I've been doing this a while now. It was not any good by any means. It's pretty bad, but you know, times change. You get better. You get older. You've already heard the story of how I met these boys. Yeah, man, just living life, making music. Got a fucking kid on the way now. Got a music video that I just dropped, shot by Omniscient Art. You know, shout out to the boy,
Shout out
fucking
to the boy.
goated. Slat, you heard, man. I don't know. I don't really music background, right? All right. Man, favorite artist is tough, bro. There's a lot of really good music out. You know, lately I've been really vibing with the electronic music. The EDM's going crazy these days. Gotta show love to Jelly Roll, coming up out of Nashville with his album, hit number 3 on the Billboard charts. Much love to that, man. Doing something for the city for sure, man. That's a tough one, you know, but I'm into a little bit of everything. So
Okay, is there, other than like, you know, collaborating with each other, are there any other artists that you guys like work with kind of frequently, or like ones that you want to like shout out or, you know, work with more in the future, like individually?
yeah, for sure. Elijah actually produces a lot as well. And right now we've got a good 3 or 4 artists that we're working with like really consistently. You know, shout out to Andre McCoy. Shout out to Big Scooby Scoo. Shout out to who else is there, man? Apollo for sure.
Apollo, shout out Octavius.
Apollo,
Octavius.
Zay, come on.
Zay,
Zoe.
big love to
Big
Zay.
love to Zay.
Zay's one
No
of my
cap.
biggest supporters for sure, man. Like, He will go the lengths for the people he cares about, and I love that about him. Great human being, great person, great music. Definitely go show some love. Ashton, another one of my friends, actually made the beat for my first song. That was terrible.
Hey, they're all
I know you've
great
got a couple people, Trauma.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Lucid, my brother for life. Got me started out on this shit. Shout out Jupilux, Eddie Fresco. Shout out, shit,
Big shout out, Eddie.
man. I'm gonna have to think on that for a minute after.
Yeah, that one caught me a little off guard.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know who you are, shout out Atticus Cole.
Shout out
my
Atticus
boys.
Cole. We already gave them a shout out in the beginning.
I
Love
cut
them
out
boys.
all weeds.
love them boys.
Oh,
We still got to do something with them too.
facts.
Something big.
Did y'all hear Cole's album, Maybe Life? Have y'all checked that out yet?
Yes.
I don't have SoundCloud, so I haven't been able to, sadly.
It's on Spotify.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I don't have Spotify. Is it on Apple Music?
I don't know, probably.
But
I would assume so.
I remember him saying that he was only going to do SoundCloud. And I was like, okay, I don't have it, so I can't check it out. Like, but hell yeah.
Big shout out to Cole and Atticus for sure, bro, because they went through, in their interview, they probably went through what they went through. If they didn't, then I'll let them handle their own story, you feel what I'm saying? But everything they've gone through, and just, like, when I first met them, as far as I can tell, they weren't even, like, doing music, really into it. I mean, everybody's into music, you feel what I'm saying? But they weren't, like, into it, like, producing it, like, making music type stuff, as far as I could tell.
They've been diving deep into it.
Yeah, and then one day, like, out of nowhere, they just start making music, it seemed like to me, and then listening, they just kept getting better and better. They did a show with us not too long ago. I can't remember
Last
when it
year.
was. Last year.
Last July.
And they saved our ass, bro. So the main act had called, like, a few hours before the show was about to even start. He was like, yo, I can't make it. So we go into the venue and we were like, hey, your main act just, like, dropped out of the show. What do we do? And they were like, we've never had that happen. I was like, well, we've never had that happen either. So what's about to happen right now? So we ended up
They were like, what are you trying to do? And I was like, shit, the show must go on, I guess.
Word
Like,
for word. So we ended up, like, grounding everybody that we could. Atticus and Cole were already on the way. We had Omniscient
Omni,
Art
yep.
and Fill the Void. Shout out to him. Him and Omni worked close together. They ended up saving the show for us, coming on and performing. They performed this one song. I need to ask them what the name of it was. I know it, and they will know it. It was one of the greatest songs I've heard in a long time, and it came from them. And
From
I was
Atticus
so
and Cole?
impressed. Yes, bro. I was so impressed
I
with
know
it
what you're
just
talking
because,
about.
like, coming from them, the energy they put on, like, last minute, it was crazy. So, and then hearing Cole, like, the album, hearing him sing, he's got a great voice. He's getting better and better. But yeah, it's crazy. I would have never expected that, bro. And then Atticus is out here producing like crazy. Watching all his piano, like, videos when he posts them are beautiful. Like, I love piano, so seeing him progress, like, way better than me. It's just
I love the hyperpop shit.
their hyperpop game is crazy, especially since
too
it was
cold
like
with it.
they hopped on it real quick
Real quick.
when the genre, like, first kind of started gaining a little momentum, and they
Killing it, dude.
They started killing it easily. Like, even on some stuff, I was like, bro, as a producer, like,
Good shit.
good, not only good shit, but, like, I'm racking my brain as to how you got some of these sounds. Like, I like to consider myself good when it comes to making weird sounds, and you're making some shit that's got me interested. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So big shout out to those boys, dude. They're doing their thing. I hope they keep going, for sure. For sure.
What was your favorite song on Cole's album? Or do you have, like, any favorites off of it?
I can't remember the names of them. I ain't gonna lie.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. That's like his album is like my favorite thing that I've heard this year. Like, from any artist, like, even including big artists.
Understandable,
Like
especially
Cole.
with the hours they put into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they come through here sometimes, and we'll literally just sit up in Studio C and talk for hours till like 3 a.m. sometimes, just talking about different mixing techniques and things that they could do. They show me their music and get all kinds of input and all that. So seeing what they come to me with and ask me for information and advice on has been insane, and watching the progress, because it's like visible every time they come through. It's like just immense amounts of progress. So understandable that you love it, because they put their hearts into it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And so like on that album, he does like so many different like sounds and genres, but it's like cohesive, which is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because like I've heard even like some big artists try to pull that off, and it just, I don't know, they
It
just,
doesn't sit right.
yeah,
Nah.
it doesn't sit right. But I don't know how Cole managed it, but he pulled it off. Cause like the first song is like a 4 on the floor, like, you know, upbeat song to set like the tone, and then the second is like an experimental rock song,
Absolutely.
and then the third is trap, and then the fourth is like
That's crazy.
the fourth is like a hyperpop slash like R&B ballad. Like,
Honestly, it's just
it's
him
crazy.
being so confident in
Yeah.
himself and
That's
being
what
able
I
to
was
release
about to
that. You know what I'm
say.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be. I'm a big fan of, like, if you were to listen to any of my releases, and none of the songs before and none of the songs after are gonna sound anywhere like the first one. So I'm a big fan of doing like a multi-genre take, like being multifaceted, being versatile. I love that, and to
That's
see
kind
him.
of the whole method behind our music.
Facts. A lot of what we do is just once we do something different the next time.
I think that was one of our first, like, at least one of the first conversations that I'll remember at work, just talking on some music shit, just being like, I think I had asked you, like, how does your shit just, like, progress? Because I'm stuck, you know, like,
Fair.
I couldn't get over this hill that I was trying to just barge past, but, we had just talked about like evolution of sound and like allowing yourself to, like, it's okay to like feel like anxious or nervous about like jumping into this, but like that's the direction that you should be going to change up and to like
Yeah, I mean, the best advice I could give for something like that is literally just make the most different shit that you
Yeah.
can. Like if you made like a Suicide Boys type song on the last one, make a fucking like pop song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like go to the opposite end of the spectrum, cuz that's going to push you more than doing 5 songs like this is
they're
going to
the
be done.
same
You
way.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're gonna make way more progress, and you're gonna see how much more you can actually do with your voice and what you're gonna end up feeling confident with, and that's just gonna go into your. It's like putting another rack under your belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So are any of you planning on releasing like a longer project, like an album, or are you guys kind of like content with putting out singles for now?
that's a good question. I mean, I think at most, right now would be like an EP. You know, like a 5 to 7 song piece of work. Nothing too crazy just yet, because for an album you want the whole label backing. Woo woo woo. You don't want to release a 12 song project for nobody to hear. You know.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like saying like every time you release something, it's one splash in the water. So if you release one single, that's one splash, or if you release like, you know, a 10-song album, that's also one splash, even though it's
Mhm.
even though, you know, it's more quantity and it's
Yeah.
a bigger project. So
That's good.
yeah.
That's a good way to say that.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it's definitely important. I was talking to another artist named Willie Sinclair. Shout out to Willie Sinclair. He's worked with like Will Paquin, if you guys know who that is. But he was saying like um he was saying like singles, or we were having a discussion. He was saying like singles are like what brings people in, but albums are like what keeps people.
Yeah, what makes people
And
stay.
yeah, and albums are like sort of like what builds your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I like.
But
I
also
guess.
you have to have the people that are ready for it. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah.
if you drop singles until you get say 100,000 people listening to your songs every month, and then you drop the album,
Mhm.
your album is automatically gonna go way better than if you only drop a single and get 5 or 15 people listening to you every month, or like only a few hundred listening every month. You know, it's kind of fallen on deaf ears. And so that's why I think singles are kind of the way to go, because people don't have the attention span anymore. You know what I mean? And especially when you're a smaller artist, getting somebody to stick around for half an hour, 45 minutes while they listen to your album is a tough thing to do. When people's attention span is, you know, if you're not catching their ear in 2 seconds, they're on to the next thing. Yeah. So that makes promoting really hard. That makes pushing it to people, you know, getting it in people's faces really hard, because you've got to come up with content that engages people from the first millisecond. You know what I mean? And figuring that out and figuring out what catches people, it's more of like a psychology game.
A psychology game?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to really think about once you start dissecting it.
Yeah. Are there any, like, I want to say, like, bigger artists, like, eras or albums, rollouts, things like that you guys kind of, like, maybe you were there for it, or maybe you're, like, maybe you were there when they were doing the rollout, or maybe, like, you found out about it, like, later, and you're, like, looking back on it and being like, oh, that's crazy, like, how they did that. Is there, like, any particular just, like, rollouts that bigger artists have done that you find, like, super inspiring?
I Love You, Carson. He went on like it was a 5 or 6 studio listening party tour. He did like a bunch in Atlanta, and then came up here, did one here with Metro Mars from Quality Control, and then did a show on the racing. What was it? It was the racing thing, wasn't it? Yeah, he did a show at the F1 racing thing they did downtown, and that was a pretty decent rollout, bro. Yeah, he did that and got like 100,000 first month.
Absolutely.
He did a pretty decent job on that. And then of course, you know, every AAA artist fucking. I didn't pay attention to many recent ones, but like back in the day, some of the bigger artists like Jay-Z and shit like that, like they used to go all out for their rollouts, 50 Cent and all that shit. He used like the whole news thing, getting shot, for his entire album rollout, Get Rich or Die Trying. Went crazy with that shit way back in the day. Big smart. Used all the news for his promotion. It was crazy.
Honestly, as much as a controversy as it is too, Gunna did some smart stuff coming out and talking immediately on the situation.
And
even
he's
though
number 1 right now.
On me, it's just crazy to like.
Which is crazy.
To know that you're hated, but still roll out with what you got hated for.
Bro blocked Taylor Swift from the number 1 spot.
I saw that shit. I was geeking, bro.
Dumbfounded.
That was so funny.
As controversial as it is, though, I think that was like super smart, because he even left like some of the songs, if you listen to it, like very bare. Whereas like he spoke on a few things, but you still wanted to hear more if you were like into the story. You know what I'm saying? And then he keeps dropping like more and more, and it's got more and more bits of the story for you. So that's a very unique situation where it's like something a lot of people are interested in. And you have the ability to kind of withhold information from the inside source kind of thing. But hey, it was smart. That one was interesting for sure. Yeah. Very interesting.
I guess the most like prominent one that I paid attention to and kind of like admired in the end was definitely Peep's rollout with doing his shit, because he had songs ready to go and whatever else, but he didn't take his next level until after he got done with the modeling stuff out in Paris and London and all of that, doing like runway shows and everything, and people started seeing his face on Instagrams because all these photographers are posting him on their magazines and stuff.
That, and he did a lot of single flooding, so he would drop like 10 singles in a month.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was like in the era of like flooding, which is like Uzi and X and all those. All those. Like that was 2016 was a different time, bro, because people would just like flood people
Just
with
getting
music,
it.
and now people like you flood somebody, they're like, all right, I'm tired of you. Like
Yeah,
stop
facts.
dropping.
They don't
Yeah,
want to
it's too
hear
flooded.
anymore.
The wall
But
broke.
he took it from like taking selfies in your bathroom and posting them on your own page to like going to the people who were like dressing you up in Gucci and walking you down in front of thousands of people and getting your name out like that. Like, who's the kid with pink hair and tattoos, and then you're on fucking tour and whatever else, doing amphitheaters and fucking whatever else. I think Russia was his biggest country, like wild and over there.
He blew up. He blew up on VK, which was the Russian Facebook,
Jeez.
and that's also what 6ix9ine did. Yeah, I
Really?
forgot about that.
That's crazy.
That's literally
Shout
like
out peep on that though.
facts. That was like the 2018 sauce. People would go on there and just like start posting their music and adding random people, and then they just go crazy and then try to book him for shows and all kinds of shit. So that was
overseas stuff was
the
crazy.
overseas stuff was crazy. Yeah.
I would say like right now, I mean, USA is pretty good, but like out of the country, I could say I'd probably be more prominent in like Poland or like right now or Europe or anything else just out of
Poland's
countries.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the boys in
Yeah,
Poland,
Warsaw.
bro.
The boys in Poland.
What's his name? Haim?
Young Haim.
Yep.
Young Haim. Shout out Young Haim. The boy out in Poland for sure.
Let's talk about 2016.
2016.
16, bro.
Just the whole year. I was like 13 when I was in 2016, so
Crazy.
So-
You're an 03 kid?
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm
Listen
young.
quick now.
I'm like the youngest person in the world, yeah. I would say
Bro's
I
a
would say I
baby
want to
out
actually
here.
want to hear like your experience in that year, but I just want to quickly say like 2018 was my 2016, if that makes sense. Cuz I was like 15 during that time. I was like really like paying attention to music, like the music that was coming out. I think that year it was like J. Cole, KOD, Beer Bonds and Bentleys by Post Malone.
Yup.
What else? That's the year X died, actually.
God damn.
Damn. Has it
Ski
really been
Mask.
that long?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been
R.I.P.
5 years.
Ski mask.
Ski Mask put out Stokely.
Yes,
JID put out DiCaprio 2. That's what it's called. And I want to circle back to this topic later in the video. But the 2018 Double XL was probably the last good Double XL
I'm partial to
freshman.
2016. I can't
Freshman.
lie.
2016.
2016 was
2016
crazy.
is
I had
better.
just turned
Yeah.
18.
Curry too.
Denzel
Can't forget
Curry.
about him.
Oh yeah,
He's-
Taboo.
yes,
Taboo. That was actually
yes.
Taboo. Oh, speaking
Was that
of Rollouts,
2018?
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
Right.
bad.
Speaking about rollouts, Taboo, that was a crazy rollout
That
because he
was.
was releasing,
Ultimate.
or I guess for the people that don't know, Taboo was a 13 song 3-part album. So the first
good.
the first 4 are like called Light, I think, and then the next 5 are called Gray, and then the last 4 are called Dark. So there's like 3 different moods to it, and there's like 3 different. Think of it as 3 different EPs with their own sound, like put together in an album that has like a cohesive storyline. That's what Taboo was. And so for his rollout, he put out like a section of the album, like over a 3-day span, I think. So like day one, it's like light, and then day 2 it's gray, and day 3 it's dark. And he put out like one single for each part of that album. And that was a crazy album. Like, that was just a crazy album because like all of his, like he had like some good features on it. He had like JID. Denzel Curry got popular off of a meme for his song Ultimate, but which is still like a hit. I'm not gonna discredit that or anything, but he did release a song called Clout Cobain,
Yeah.
which was on Taboo.
He debuted that at Camp Flognaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I saw that shit. That shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. And like Clout Cobain was like his first proper like actual hit, in my opinion.
His promotion on that was crazy on Instagram too, because I remember seeing that like everywhere, but it was just like his face all fucked up with the clown makeup and stuff.
He had
But I
billboards and all
was-
kinds of shit
I
for
was
it too.
still like trolling rappers up until like or like late-ish 2016 when I really got introduced. But even then, I was like, yo, what the fuck is this shit, you know? But yeah, that was
That's how I
probably
felt
like,
about Peep and X at first.
I feel you. That's how,
Especially X.
yeah.
But Cloud Cobain was such great because it's such like a great song and video because the whole um, like story behind it or like the like what the message is what I'm trying to say. The message behind it is like how he's talking about like these rappers,
Losing their morals.
Yeah.
For clout.
right? And it's like the whole clout chasing thing, and it's like, you know, people.
And big on the management too, other than the artist. Like it's really what
Yeah.
you sign up for in the end, and the fine print that you don't see. You know,
Yeah.
like just digging their talons deeper in that.
Yeah, it's just a whole commentary on like the rap scene, like the SoundCloud underground scene is now becoming mainstream, and there's all these like, you know, people that are like trying to profit off of these guys, you know, which is like what the whole song and video is about, because he's just like he's wearing like he's wearing clown makeup, and it's like black and white, and I think people are like, yo, like do this, do that, and like, you know, like
Everybody in the
dance for
crowd
us,
had all
yeah.
the, like tats and all that, like face tats and everything too.
Yeah.
All drinking like lean double cups, all that shit.
Yeah, and then at the end he like shoots himself, I think.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think
You
so.
know. You know. And it's also like Clout Cobain, it's like Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, you know, once he achieved all this great success, he couldn't deal with it, and so he took his own life. So it's like sort of I agree. But but you know,
Besides the point.
yeah, but you know, he's just like he's in like Kurt Cobain, his name, and like the whole like clout culture like together into just like this beautiful like song and video for like excuse me, for like the best album of that year. But okay, let's take it back 2 years to like 2016. I want to hear like your like, you know, you guys were definitely more engaged with like what was coming out. Like I was definitely engaged, but I was like 13. I was like
I was
More.
18 in 2016.
yeah. So you were
So
like
I
18,
was-
so like you're
it was
definitely
my
getting
first
to know more.
year out of high school.
Mm.
Just going crazy, bro. Like partying every night. There were parties all over the place. Fucking Molly, all kinds of shit, man. All night long partying. Hella music came out. Travis Scott was really doing his thing. I think
That's
what
when
came out?
Birds in the Trap came
yeah,
out.
Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight came out. And I remember tripping so much acid to that album, bro. It was insane. The Smoke One, Drink One, Pop One, the
interlude,
extended
yeah.
version of that came out on SoundCloud as
Yeah.
like a hidden release.
Mhm.
It was, to this day, I still think it's one of the best Travis Scott songs ever made.
Mhm.
Man, what was the Antidote? That was a crazy
Antidote
one.
was cool.
Yeah.
Antidote was
That
like
a
the
big
mainstream.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antidote was the mainstream one. That one
That
and
was a
the
party song.
yeah. Which one had the girl that was passing out in the beginning of it?
I have no idea.
They're like, oh my god, Becky, and she just like, doo doo. You just hear her sleep on the floor.
I don't know that.
It had, it might have been Antidote. It had Thug on it.
Probably.
Antidote is just Travis.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it
just
wasn't
him.
Antidote then. It was the one with Thug on it. That shit was so funny, dude.
Is that pick up the phone? Is that what
Call
it's
your
called?
friends and let's get drunk. Call your friends and let's
Oh,
get
that's Maria, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I'm drunk. That one's from Rodeo, so that's like that previous album.
You love Rodeo.
But
I
it is
hate
good.
Rodeo, actually.
Wait, you hate Rodeo?
I hate Rodeo. It's my
Why?
least favorite. I don't know, man. My favorite Travis was Days Before Rodeo.
Mm.
Days Before Rodeo, because I was
This is like the greatest album
Sophomore.
ever made. How do you not like it?
Man. See, Days Before Rodeo, the songs themselves, the mixes were terrible on Days Before Rodeo, but they
Yeah,
were
they were.
so defining of what was to come for music.
Yeah.
It's really a shit, man. It's hard to explain, but
It's when
Days
he came
the
in-
the
it's when he
energy
came
of Days
into his
Before Rodeo, like you can tell, man was hungry, dog. You know what I mean? Like he was hungry for that spot. He was still trying to get good with Kanye, all that good shit, all the woo woo woo. and Rodeo came out, he was already where he wanted to be. So the pressure that he was applying really let up a lot. And even to this day, like, he's just kind of, when I listen to his music, it feels like he's just putting something out to put something out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's not that hunger, there's not that drive that
Let
he
me look
had
at
before.
his. Yeah, because I definitely agree with you. I'm kind of worried for his new album, Utopia, just because I don't think it's going to be good. Like,
Yeah.
judging off of what he's put out Franchise, which sucks.
Haven't even heard that. I haven't listened to anything past
He put
Astro World.
he
I
put out
listened to it
Highest in the
once and I
Room.
was like,
I enjoyed Highest in the Room. Like, he just does it like a little vibe.
That's alright. I felt see Utopia is gonna have songs that are like 3 and 4 years old on it, and I don't know. I don't know if
hey man,
not
sometimes the
sure.
vault songs are the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like the singles and stuff. I don't know. Like judging the sound off of like the singles that he's put out, which I'm not sure if they're gonna be on this album since it's been so long. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried. I'm excited because you know, it's been 5 years since Astro
Mhm.
World, but I'm just kind of like worried for the actual like sound of the album. But if I'm going in with low expectations, it might surprise me. So
Facts.
we'll see.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Little Travie.
Good old Travie.
X was my favorite in 2016. That's a crowd favorite for then, but it was just something new, and I think like a lot of people, he kind of gave like home producers and artists hope. Like that whole era kind of gave people hope that they could just make it on their own. Because if you listen back to it, like it's over compressed, it's clipping, all that stuff. So like by no means would anybody listen to it if it hadn't have come out in that era. And because of that, to this day, I feel like we even accept like a little less quality of a sound if it
If
has
like
something new and
energy.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their energy was crazy, and the genre blending that went on really paved a new way for fun music, for sure. Like one that's not known about a lot, like he's well known, but was Scarlord was big for me because I was big into metal, just like these two were, like, you know, younger age, big into metal. It was something new. It was angry, you feel me? So it was a good
Yeah.
way to get all that out. But then coming back and hearing like trap metal, like somebody really kind of bringing the same energy. He started busting in 2016 too, and that was crazy. And then going from there, I was like, okay, so we can really like do whatever we want now. Like I don't have to stick to something melodic. I don't have to stick to like lyrical. I can do metal. I can do trap. I can do melodic. I could do damn country
Yeah.
if I wanted to. Like Lil Nas X.
Maybe like them doors and turn the lights down.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, X and Ski Mask, they just did whatever they wanted and they didn't care. Like,
Facts.
you
That
know,
was the big vibe of
about it.
2016 too. Is a lot of people just like not really caring what too many people thought.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck
As
them
Lil Boat
kids,
said.
yeah. As Lil Boat said, shout out him too.
Mm-hmm.
He's so goofy, and that's why I love him, because he's like the epitome of staying true to yourself. Like, admits that he is not about that life, just wants to eat pizza, watch SpongeBob type. Like, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. It brought a like, I feel like from an outside perspective looking in, it seemed like a lot of rap was like people acting a little too cool for stuff. And then the 2016 genre was just a bunch of kids coming out.
Yeah.
They were still in the, you know, anime rap became a big thing. Like they were in the anime, you know, cartoons, all that stuff. So just those kids, like, on me, all those like artists that were comfortable, or just like comfortable saying they aren't about that life, just rapping. Like it was hard, you know what I'm saying? Like they're on some video game rap talking about Call of Duty, but it sounds like gun rap. You feel what I'm saying? Like they took it to a venue where you could still rap and like have fun, and like it'd be a hard song, but you don't have to be about that life. You don't have to pretend type shit or act too cool or nothing like that. Like they were just out there being goofy, raising hell.
2016 was like the accumulation of culture
Absolutely.
and like everything that came before, because these people, they were listening like Nirvana, They were watching like SpongeBob and Naruto.
Absolutely.
They were listening. They were also listening like 50 Cent and Eminem.
Yeah.
Like you know, they were
There was
listening to
a-
rock. They were listening to rap. They were like listening to whatever they wanted, and
Yeah.
like, and they just like colored their hair,
Yeah.
got some tattoos, and just like did what they wanted to.
Just that's it, bro. And they like they
That's
broke
the-
that
that's
dividing
the,
line.
That's
too.
the rapper, the SoundCloud rapper blueprint right there.
SpongeBob colored hair, face tats.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, and they
Great
like,
era.
and they didn't start moshing in terms of like rap, but they definitely like made moshing in the rap world like more
Oh, yeah.
popular.
The distorted
sure.
808s is it hits the same grimy feeling like a metal song does sometimes. Like you just want to get in there and start moshing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Gotta love it. And the people that even like I was going on the genre blend, people like Scarlord that could put like the screaming over some trap metal, like just nasty 808. It's not only talented, but it was just crazy to hear. It was something cool to hear, and it made me like excited. I was like, okay, maybe not this is gonna be the next big thing, but then hyperpop came out, and it was just like, okay, like we got a electronic music mixed with pop music, mixed with all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it was the next big thing. So all those new genres became like it's infinite possibilities now, and that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the 2016 XXL freshman list.
I don't even remember who was on
The best list they've ever had.
The best one. Who is your favorite on it?
So it's like they had Denzel Curry, Lil Uzi, Yachty, 21 Savage, Kodak Black. They had their cipher. And then they had Designer, Lil Dicky, and Anderson Paak, which is a crazy 3 combination.
Dude, Anderson .Paak is goated too.
Yeah, and then they had G Herbo and Dave East.
Shout out Lil Dicky, bro. Bro is slept on. He can spit.
He can spit.
He can spit when he really tries.
He's goofy as hell,
He's
but he
goofy
can
as
spit,
hell, but
bro.
he can spit when he really tries.
Mm-hmm. Lil Dicky, he actually had a great so Lil Dicky, when he was like, I'm gonna make music or whatever, he made he made I think it was around 6 songs with videos and everything, and he made all of them before he put any of them out, and he was like, okay, so now I have a content plan for 6 months or a year or something like that, right? So he's like, I have this whole year, and whatever happens, and I'll continue to make stuff during that year, obviously. And the first song he puts out blows up, and he's like, oh shit, I was not expecting this. And then he does collabs with Snoop Dogg
Yep.
in his second year and stuff. It's crazy.
Dude's little plan there was goated, and lucky as hell
That's
too that
something
it popped off.
Preach to people, bro. Is
Oh,
have
yeah.
all your shit ready to go
Yep.
before it comes out. That way you can, once it really comes out, you can really push it. If you have the video come out at the same time as the song, you get the YouTube reach, you get all that shit, and then people are gonna look it up on YouTube, and it's only gonna get bigger and bigger. And YouTube does the automatic SEO, which is fantastic. So if you can get at least 1,000 views on it, it's gonna start getting its own traction. So if you have everything come out all together, it'll do so much better than dropping the song and then dropping a video 2-3 months later, and because after 2-3 months, people are already over the song. You know what I mean? There's nothing that came of the song quick enough for people to be like, oh, I'm gonna backtrack 2-3 months to hear this song that came out a while ago. You know what I mean? 3 months is damn near a quarter of the year. It is a quarter of the year.
It is.
So you gotta think about it like that. You wanna have everything as quick as you possibly can get it,
Mm-hmm. And for sure. I mean, if you're gonna have spend 3 months on one song, that's only 4 songs a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, just
facts.
That's not a good collection to try and push out.
Unless you're really doing crazy massive amounts of pushing and content, you know what I mean? If you can put $5,000 into a promotional budget, then you can push it for 3 months for sure.
Yeah. Well, if you can survive off of 4, if you have the audience to survive off of 4 songs a year, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a smaller or a new artist, that's not a good idea.
No,
Yeah.
If you're big enough.
Yeah.
If you're big enough, you can you can swing. Like I mean,
But you
like
also-
Travis, bro.
yeah.
He hasn't put one out in 5 years. He's put a few songs out, and that's held him over. You know what I'm saying? And now he's about to put out the album. So that's, in a sense, exactly what he's doing. Is just putting out a few, like over that course of years. But for us smaller artists, we definitely got to keep pushing. Like
Keep doing more and more.
keep
and
doing more and more. Keep making more quality. Keep like correlating the videos with the artwork, everything like that. Make sure it's all cohesive and put it out together. That way, it just keeps attention. And gets everything going.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any input? You haven't talked for a while.
I mean, I wasn't really into the 2016 XXL freestyles, or like, I had an ex who was like really about that rap like for forever. And so once that all the new artists came out, she was always playing Lil Uzi, and she really introduced me to a lot of the artists that I kind of listen to now, like a couple singles, I guess. But I see genres of music and levels of music and mainstream, underground, whatever else, almost as like cliques in high school. So like the underground scene was kind of like the Misfits and whatever else, and that's where I was kind of the most comfortable whenever I went there, and a social scene. So like 2016 for me was more like Bones and Suicide Boys and My Liver Can Handle What My Heart Can't and all that, like really heavy albums. And going back to them, they were probably the most, like before I got into Peep, they were probably the first duo that I saw that had similar background of like wanting to first be a metal artist or punk artist, and then just didn't really find any luck in it and went into the rap stuff. But throughout the course of that, it was really like Bones, Suicide, anyone else.
I forgot about Bones.
Bro, for real though, he really started out that whole thing like 2014 up till then, and he's honestly, bro, if we're talking about people not dropping shit, that boy is living well. If we're not dropping shit in like years and years and doing one tour every full ritual moon. But racking up that bag still comfortably. I mean, for like social, yes, absolutely no, like it takes somebody like us to remember somebody like that, because somebody who's obsessed with Yeet now isn't gonna know Bones, you know.
Big facts.
But like, as prominent enough, I'll still go back and listen to him or whatever else, and the boys will still be my favorite artist. But like, just for that, I wasn't as inclined in listening to like Yachty and Lil Uzi and all of those like bigger artists probably till 2018 or 19, after their prime or whatever else.
You should go back and listen to early Uzi, bro.
Early Uzi. I mean,
Early
I've
Uzi
probably
was
heard a
it,
couple,
bro.
like, I say I haven't listened to a lot of it, but for how much she played, like, I've probably heard a good portion of his
Go back
catalog.
and listen to it, bro,
Yeah.
because
I
you'll
still remember
re-fall in
songs like
love with that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. What Uzi was doing when he first came out was insane.
I just
dude.
like the grime of everything. If you can get dirty with it, and
Oh,
that's
he's
why I
got
kinda,
some grime,
yeah,
bro.
if
He's
you
got
can
some
get
grime.
and especially with like how you were talking about boys, like people just kind of saying shit and not backing it up. I like really went into the interview of the boys and saw like they were drugging people for their money and fucking busting their ass at the door type shit. Like they were about that life and hungry for it. And so that was something that I saw as like, I ain't about that life, but that's hats off to you
Respect.
at the end of the
Facts.
day. Like you got that shit going. But just the dirtiness of whatever I feel in here is definitely portrayed out there, and that's what definitely like attracted me to that scene, more so than like Uzi and Yachty and all that.
Yeah, I got you. Do we want to talk about the Uzi, Yachty, Kodak 21, and Denzel cipher? Okay.
Yeah, y'all. I'll be listening.
y'all got
I
that.
don't, yeah.
Gibby, talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
me?
talk about it.
Yeah.
Obviously that was the best one. Most of them, what was really crazy to me about 2016 was how little every single one of them didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like they weren't
Yeah,
in
that's
it.
great.
They weren't in it to like, oh, I'm the best. Blah 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 blah. They were doing that shit to have fun. So like they didn't give a fuck about how it came out. They were like, fucking half of them were just like,
That's probably why I didn't pay attention.
It was just
'Cause
a
half
lot of
these
bullshit. They were just
motherfuckers
fucking
are-
around, bro. But
Yeah.
you could like see it in their faces. They were having the most fun they'd
Yeah.
ever had in their life, and it was,
yeah.
it was so awesome to see that because they were at the time like, what, like 18, 19 years old. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like just some young jits from the fucking sticks trying to make it, and they're living their fucking dreams. Like where every kid in music dreams to end up on the XXL. You know what I mean? And they did it. They did it before they turned 20, most of them.
It's unrelated, but X's cipher was better than anyone else's, and I'll stand by it.
Yes,
For some
I'll
poetry
agree with
shit,
that.
was crazy.
me.
I'll
He
agree
said,
with
"Hold
it.
on, no beat."
Hey, but
Yeah.
the one that he did before that, there was like a little like cameo one that he did before that. That shit goes crazy. Something like I forget what it was called.
Wait, which one was the one where he was like literally just like in his hoodie, like
Yeah.
curled over, just like
That
talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was X's double
Mid,
X.
bro.
double
I ain't gonna
XL
lie.
cipher.
Come on.
He choked it. He choked that one.
He did that one, bro.
He choked that
He
one.
did that one. Go look up a video of the beat going back over it, and it hits perfect.
Okay, but without the
He
beat,
does it.
he choked it.
He does it.
I remember hearing this now, and I was like,
He did it.
that ain't
Man,
it,
it's
bro.
so-
He sounded like the emo kid from middle school.
The quiet
Yeah.
kid that comes.
was
in.
The quiet kid from yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cut myself in the corner and I'm gonna cry myself to sleep every night. Oh my fucking god, I hate my life. Oh my god.
But that cipher was like Playboy Cardi and two other people I don't
Yeah,
remember. And
I'm
they
not
were
a
just
Cardi
having-
fan personally.
Yeah, they were just
Ugly
having fun.
god. Especially on a bitch like what?
Yeah, but during that cipher, it was like Playboy Cardi and these other two guys just having fun. And then like X cuts the beat and like kneels over.
I hate my
So
life.
So
I'm
he,
gonna
like,
kill
it was
myself.
a complete
blah, blah, blah.
like mood switch. Like it was.
And then they cut the beat back on, and he was the last one, right? They cut the beat back on. It was just like all vibes again.
And if you watch it,
Everybody in the background just like standing there watching him, just like
no, it's literally yeah. Because if you watch it, it's like when the other three are like rapping, you know, they're dancing. X is just like in the corner scoping the room like a.
Yeah.
He's just like not dancing or anything
Mhm.
like that. And then when he's like starts spitting, everyone is like it's like they're at a funeral just like looking down at the ground like
they're trying to bob but they can't. And it's just like
they're just they're
They're
just like
fucking
you
with, they
got-
gave him his respect, bro. Honestly, like as the young kid of that cipher, they honestly gave him his respect. I felt like
I don't know. Everyone's up there to do their best rap, and that's a definitely out of box kind of thing because they're all listening to the same fucking beat, and no freestyle is a real freestyle in my opinion. It's all thought out before.
I
in
think
the
starting in
end.
2016, it became less about the best song or the best verse or whatever,
Yeah.
and more just about like we're young kids having fun. Let's
Mhm.
just fuck around.
I mean, honestly, when you look at it too, it's like it's a viral promotion if you do it right. So the one like what was like Coyle Ray, when she did hers, people bashed on it, but it got her so many views, and now she's like honestly, regardless of everything, doing well for herself. Like ended up getting features with Derek all day. I mean, but her dad's been that, you feel me? So
Yeah.
like, she could have had that because her dad's been that, but that one put her like it gave her clout in a bad way, but she ended up using it in a good way. Like it got her all those views. People would be like, "Oh, Coyle Ray, who's that? Go check it out." Be like, "Oh, she's trash. Let me go check out a song," and then maybe they vibe with it. The one with Pooh Shiesty, like she ended up getting all kinds of shit after that. So honestly, that was kind of smart. Like just to troll yourself on there and get that many views if you got the balls to do it. Or in her case, if you got the chest to do it.
So for you guys personally, do y'all want to be double XL freshmen one day? Is that like an important thing to you, or what?
It's not important, but I wouldn't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't. I'm not ever gonna try and go out of my way for it. I don't think. But if the option were to come up,
Then you take it.
I would take it. It depends. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't. So I always wonder, like in the background, as an artist myself, okay, like why would this artist not want to do double XL freshman? Like, is there some kind of stipulation? Like whatever it is, why would they not want to? So I always think about that. Like there might be a reason why people don't want to do it for some reason. But other than that, like it's good promotion. You know,
Great promotion.
great promotion.
I probably would. Well, see, I've thought about this, and I'm like 50-50. I'm like right in the middle. Like I would just to please my inner child because, you know, like I said, like every kid that's in music, their entire dream is to be an XSL freshman. But on the other hand, like, I feel like it wouldn't be as beneficial because, like, when's the last time an XXL freshman cipher really went crazy and went viral? And it was Toilet Ray, and that was what, 3-4 years ago now.
Right.
Yeah, but it went viral for being bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not as credible as it used to be anymore. So it's like kind of in the middle. Like I think same with what Elijah said. If the opportunity arose, probably, but just depends.
You would have to get me fucked up to get up there and try to freestyle, just because my whole like construction of thought behind music starts with like
Bro's gotta be
writing.
drunk as absolute shit.
Literally throwing up before I even start. But I would not even to like be on some copycat shit. It would probably just be like some spoken word with the beat or whatever. I just can't like bring myself to make up fucking nonsense on the spot. You know, like everything has to have some sort of
Just hit
core
some meat ad
meaning.
libs, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Chuffed up in this bitch. You know. Chuffed up.
Mad show.
Mad chuffed.
Yeah, I got you guys. Let's see.
Do you have any other questions for us personally that you're curious about, like the way we do things, or?
I did want to ask you guys like all separately, like what's like your reason or like your motivation for like making music?
Who wants to go first?
You got the mic, boy.
I can go.
Go for it.
My motivation for making music, it gives me peace of mind and it gives me happiness. It puts me in a mindset where I don't care about what other people think. I don't care about what other people say. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what's going on outside of the vocal booth. You know what I mean? It's music saved my life multiple times. You know, if I didn't have music to fall back on, then I probably would not be here. And it really just there's something about it that's just tranquility, you know, like being in the zone and knowing that this shit's gonna fucking hit, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing like that feeling in the world, and a lot of people lose touch of that, and you know, I really feel for them in that sense, because couldn't be me.
Couldn't be.
What's like your goal? I want to add this question to all of you guys as well, but like what's like your goal for like making music, or like your end goal, I suppose?
My end goal would be to be free of financial burden, being able to do what I want to do at any given time of any given day. You know, I wouldn't need to worry about what my pockets are looking like. I wouldn't need to worry about, you know, who is coming after me or for this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to worry about any of that shit. I want to be successful. I want to have made money off of dropping music and touring and working with these legends in the industry, who I've looked up to my entire life, you know. Yeah. I'd kind of being number one, but also like not that egotistical. You know what I mean? I'm cool with number 10. I'm cool with number 20. You know, as long as I'm in the conversation at all, I'm happy. You know?
For sure. Yeah, I get you.
What was the first part?
Okay, so like, what's your motivation?
Motivation.
For making music, and like, what's your end goal?
Bet. So, similar with Gibby, I guess, music has always just made sense to me in the end. It's always brought like a calming like peace into the chaos of just whatever life is in my own crazy mind. Whenever I write, I feel like I can like focus in and actually like find time to relax and not be kind of on edge with everything. Um, I feel like my motivation changes and either adds on or it never lets go of anything, but it always adds on. I find more reasons within myself or reasons around me to keep pushing and kind of find my leeway into this shit. But in terms of like end goal stuff, just to be on stage with these guys, just to tour the world and get to see the places that I've seen on just the television or the internet or whatever else, but being able to do that being paid. And I don't even care about the money, but not having to
It's
go
just
back
the
to a
freedom
job.
that comes with it. You know what I
Exactly,
mean? Like,
exactly. Like not having to come back to a 9 to 5, not having to come back to a 1 bedroom apartment and whatever else, and to feel like I've done something that's accomplished for my life and for the generations after me, where my whole bloodline, if I do have children one day, can start off better than I did. Not that it's bad, but not have that struggle to deal with and try to work around from the music 'cause it's eternal. And that's one big draw that I took from it was like your name is just out there and people find it or they don't. And when they do find it, it sticks with them, you know? And so kind of along with Gibby too, I don't care about like paparazzi and getting the red carpet treatment and whatever else. I could be content off of a bag for something and doing a couple shows in between, you know? I don't need all of the clout and everything else. I just want this to be my job. I would live a much happier life if I could just be doing this besides trying to balance it all out with everything else that stresses me out. Um, but definitely just passionate about pushing the awareness of just mental illness with my name Lil Trauma. Just speaking on the real raw shit besides looking at my diamonds and ice and my nice bitch or whatever. Just trying to push like the realness of how it feels whenever you do deal with this shit or the relationships that you can have that affect you or whatever else. And so I ain't here to save anybody. I can't even do that for myself most of the time. But if what I do say helps, then I can take that to the grave and be happy.
leaves you.
Leaves me. I don't really know where to start.
This is something you've never really thought about.
I know.
I tried making it, like, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. I
Gonna have the mic like up here.
I don't really know where to start as far as like inspiration for why I do it. I have a really weird obsession with sounds. I love sounds. Like anything that I hear, for some reason I want to imitate it. And so that became like, and then like I was saying before, like metal, a lot of genres, stuff like that. Like when you listen to them, a lot of people just hear screaming, a lot of noise, you know what I'm saying? When I listened to them, I was immediately fascinated more so with like, how did he get his voice to do that? You know what I'm saying? Or she, anybody. Like how is your voice doing that? How can a human make that noise? And then you start researching into it, you find other like countries and stuff. There's stuff like tube and throat singing, which is a big thing. I talk about that a lot to anybody that talks about metal, but it's like it's a dual tone singing kind of thing for people that don't know it. Anyway, that fascinated me. I was like, when people sing, it's like one tone, they change notes, but there's never like a dual tone. Like, how do you do that? That became like a big fascination. So the fact that there was so much like that you could imitate, I guess, with your voice, but then just other sounds that people were making as far as production went and everything. Like, there's infinite amounts of sounds, the way you can make it sound, harmonies, all kinds of things. And that has always just interested me so much. And that's what really started the producing, was just like, I want to make those sounds. I want to like make something beautiful that people find. Like the fact that you can hear a sound and it instills a sort of kind of emotion in you, like a song does. Like that's why there's sad songs, there's angry songs, there's hype songs, all of that. So the fact that a single sound could kind of instill that. Like, let's get nerdy, like the lion's roar. It has a decibel, like a frequency solo that we can't hear, but it's when, even though you can't hear it like audibly, it still instills like a fear in you because of how low and bass it is. Like your body still reacts to that. It's a subtone, so it reacts to that. So the fact that there's noises that we don't even hear that make like those emotions come out of you, your body just naturally reacts to. That always interested me. So I was like, okay, like music is what everybody listens to, sounds, all that stuff. Like
That's why people like such a grimy
Right.
bass.
it just it's gritty. You know what I'm saying? It instills like a certain kind,
Sense of shiver down your
little
spine.
sense in you. So as far as getting into music, like for some reason that was it. I loved sounds. I wanted to make them. It interested me, like the science behind sounds and humans was cool. And and the fact that humans can make weird sounds too was always cool. Like it sounds goofy as hell, you know. Nobody wants to be that kid like demon roaring in a bathroom, but you got to do it to figure out what you can do.
Give 'em a quick little roar.
Never that. Couldn't do it. And as far as my end goal goes, is honestly just at the very end to be inspiring. Like, there's a few people right now. We'll go with a vocalist named Will Ramos. All right, so people are so interested in his sound that they studied his throat. Like, how are you doing that? Put a camera down his throat, studied it, all that stuff. That's crazy to me. And I was like, okay, like, you never know. Maybe it's Gibby, maybe it's maybe it's you. You never know. But who knows if there's like some kind of hidden talent that science doesn't know about yet. Just something like that. It sounds really weird, sounds really goofy, but to inspire and to like innovate, I guess, kind of pioneer something would be my end goal. To really delve deep into the realm of sounds and kind of make stuff new that people can find interesting and use.
And this man's got it. This man's beats and everything else are something an alien made, a
Preach.
trap alien made.
Trap
In the
alien.
end,
Hey, that can be an album name.
Trap
Trap
Alien.
Alien.
trap alien. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we end the video here, is there like any message that you want to like put out there into the world to like the viewers watching this? Like, I don't know, anything you guys like really want to like talk about before we end it?
I've got something if y'all don't.
I'll let you go first.
The only thing I have to say is don't be too cool for yourself, because you'll prohibit yourself if you feel like too cool. Like I said, be the goofy kid that screams in the shower if you want to learn something. Like, you're not too cool. If you want to learn something, go full force and do it.
Pretty much the same thing. I mean, push yourself. You know, don't ever get too complacent and get stagnant. Always push yourself. Always go harder. You know, and don't what's the word? Don't count yourself out before you even try. You know what I mean? Anything is possible. You just gotta work towards it.
Kind of going off what you just said, just the strength in yourself is stronger than you know, because your mind is your biggest enemy. And so working past that and working past your insecurities and fears of what people may think or what people may not think, and just doing it for yourself or for what the purpose of it is, the passion behind it, just to create something that is truly yours and wouldn't have been a thing if it didn't come from your mouth or mind or your experience. So really pushing and moving forward through life's tribulations is always the number one thing. Like, it starts with yourself. And so just waking up every day and trying to find a new reason to make those goals happen is what I would have to say is probably the strongest thing that I'm even learning still, but something that I would like to share, and that is just making yourself work with yourself in the end.
Facts.
Get a little uncomfortable. It's good for you.
Yeah, evolution.
All right, word.
Word.
So awesome. So links down to all of their music and, you know, social media and everything will be down in the description. Make sure to check them out, follow them. go back and listen to some of your favorite 2016 music as well.
Yeah.
And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And y'all have a blessed day. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace. Thank y'all for listening.
I don't wanna talk